me looking through my lens, and just doing what works best for me and my psychology. The reason why we make bad decisions when it comes to trading is because, of course, like being able to withdraw daily, having that type of opportunity, that's unheard of in the prop firm industry, and it's life
Mm-hmm.
changing. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I've had payouts in 30 seconds before, and it's crazy. It's crazy. FunderPro is definitely where it's at. Definitely the best prop firm in the industry right now, and I'm surprised that not a lot of people, not as many people heard of it as some of these other names. But seconds on the time frame, seconds on the payouts. Come on now.
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, FunderPro family, we are back with another funded trader interview. My name is Tyler Davis, and I am talking to Nafeed. And Nafeed is a funded trader with FunderPro who has received payouts from us. And so we are going to talk to him today, talk about his strategy, his psychology, his trading history, his journey. And so welcome to the show, Nafeed. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity that was brought forth from you guys to interview, and not only that, but the platform of FunderPro in general.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us today, and hopefully we'll be able to drop some gems for any traders or any new traders out there watching. So why don't we start off? Just give me a little bit of a background about yourself, maybe what you did before trading, how you discovered trading, and what got you into it, and then just kind of what the beginning of your journey was like.
Awesome, awesome. So I started off trading back in 2019 because I seen everyone talking about trading. I guess they were trying to recruit or whatever. I never got into that stuff, but I was interested in crypto for a while now. I would say since 2017, and I got introduced to forex, and then from there I got introduced to indices, trading commodities, everything. So it's been about 5 years now, and I've been trading ever since. A few of my buddies actually showed me the ropes, just some people I went to high school with, and they showed me how to be profitable and what people to watch on YouTube. Like, I'm sure we all heard of like ICT, and then the I forgot the other guys, but Wyckoff, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But yeah, so that's how I got my introduction to it, and then from there, it's been one journey because obviously starting off, you have high expectations, hoping to make $1 million in a trade, and then you end up blowing your account maybe 5 times over. But
yeah.
after you learn the strategy is just about being disciplined and just understanding. You don't have to make $1 million in a day. It's just about 1 to 2%, and making sure that your risk
Mhm.
to reward ratio is always good. And that's how I kind of optimize my strategy today, making sure that my risk to reward ratio is on point. So even if I'm having a rough week, and let's say that I only won 1 out of 5 trades in the week,
Mhm.
then I'm still profitable because I'm hitting at least a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's been the main part about my strategy. I know some people like to, maybe have a higher win percentage, and then, maybe hitting a 1 to 2. But, the win percentage varies for me. But as long as my risk to reward ratio is there, as long as I keep that risk, solid, I'm firm on it, I don't play around with it, then I know that I'll be profitable and my equity curve will continue to move up. So long story short, I've been trading for a couple years now, and it's been an interesting journey. And I'm
Yeah.
still a student. I'm finishing up my master's right now, so
And what?
I'll be finished in a
If I
few
can.
months.
What are you
I'm
What are you
sorry.
going to school for? What will your degree? What field will it be in?
Oh, it's in information systems, so I'm getting my MBA right now. But obviously, trading is the main main objective. All that other
Yeah.
stuff is just kind of for the parents, so they could have something to be proud of.
That's right. You got to keep those parents happy. Hey, listen, you
Exactly.
make it as a successful trader. I'm sure they'll be proud. It'll take them a little while to come around, maybe, but
Oh yeah, they came around. They came around,
yeah.
but still, schools education is important to them.
Absolutely. I totally understand. To any kids watching this, education should be important to everybody. Educate yourselves. Don't
Of
just rely on
course.
your don't rely on your chat GPTs, kids, all right? Educate yourself.
Exactly. And that's what people need to realize. School, it's just about putting everything in your favor so you have more probability of being successful. That's what school's for. If you have success without it, that's awesome. But, some people might not have that, and they might need school to maybe make that network so that they're able to be successful in the future.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
no shots thrown at anyone pursuing their, educational prowess or even someone who dropped out and is making seven figures. Like however it works for you, wherever you find your success, that's what's important.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So let's talk about your trading a little bit more. You said you learned from some of your friends that were into it. You got introduced, it sounded like, to the indices early on. Do you still trade the indices? Do you like to trade something else? Do you like to trade gold? Do you like to trade forex pairs? What is your asset of choice?
So I started off trading when you first start off, you're trading everything. You're trying to catch every single move in the market, but then I switched over and I only traded GBP USD for maybe a good 2 years and only that, sometimes switching between that and EU. But as of the last year, I've only been trading Nasdaq and just
Mhm.
straight Nasdaq. And that's what's been working for me is I like the way the market moves. It's more it matches my schedule more, between work and everything. I'm able to
Mhm.
trade Nasdaq at a consistent time every single day. Sometimes with GU, I would have to, the move might be in London session, and then sometimes the move's in New York session, and I'm not gonna stay up in the middle of the night. I'm on the East Coast right now, so I'm not gonna stay up till 3 a.m. just to take a loss.
Yeah, sacrificing your sleep for an L is never fun. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
So you trade Nasdaq, which is something I also like to trade. So I can relate to you on that. Do you trade just the New York session, like strictly wait for the 9:30 a.m. open and start to look for setups? What time frames do you like to trade on the most? For entries, for levels, for all that sort of things. How do you use the different time frames?
So I mainly, yeah, like you said, I wait till 9:30, but I don't even
Mhm.
execute at 9:30. I'm just kind of, monitoring the market. I look at what
Mhm.
Asia and London session did, and I mark out any previous highs or lows that I've seen over there that, could be a draw in liquidity. And then from there, I'll wait till 10 o'clock. Sometimes I might get the move around, 9:50 or something, but I wait till
Mhm.
10 o'clock and then I look for a decent pullback after a new range is created, and I consider a new range by a previous low getting taken out, leading to a new high being created, and then I'll wait for a pullback from there, and then I'll take my entry. So I usually execute. I'll watch. So of course I like the 4 hour time frame because 10 a.m. is the new 4 hour candle forming. So I like to
Mhm.
monitor that, but I also like to monitor 1 hour, a 15 minute, 5 minute, and I execute on the 1 minute. Sometimes I like to
Your
look at the
entries,
15 second, but mainly I execute on
15
the.
second. Wow.
Yeah, but that's just to get the best risk to reward ratio I could find.
Yeah.
But sometimes I find it more in my favor just to stick to 1 minute.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I listen. I don't think there's anything wrong with using it if you're able to use that small of a time frame chart and catch the moves. If you can make it work for you, that's awesome. That you're just the first person I've heard give me a time frame in the seconds, so it threw me off a little bit. But I like it. I like it. All right,
Oh
cool. So
yeah, of course.
you're using multiple different time frames. You're really scaling down to the lower time frames for precise entries. Now, when you are entering your trades, do you base your stop loss off of like a previous candle? So, like if you're taking an entry on the 1 minute chart, are you keeping a stop below the previous 1 minute candle? Is there an area of support and resistance that you're watching? Is it just like a percentage risk that you're calculating? How do you go about managing your risk?
And so I'll incorporate both of those. Like for example, a major structural point, such as if I see a low get taken out, and then that leads to a new high, I know that that low right there is where I'm going to put my stop loss. And
Hmm.
then of course it'll be the risk percentage will be factored into that. So let's say it's a 20 point stop loss. within that 20 points is only 1% being risked.
Hmm.
Sometimes even 0.5, depending on
Hmm.
my risk appetite or how
Yeah.
confident I
You
am in
like
the
to set up?
setups.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how I do it. And again, I don't like to risk too much. I like to have the always have the reward outweigh the risk. That's
Yeah.
something I had to learn. Took some time to learn, but of course, is better than full porting your account and risking everything just to make what a 0.5% gain.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes as traders, we get so caught up in the moment and don't think about the long term of, trading for the next week, trading for the next month, for the next 6 months, for the next year. And it's difficult when you're like in the heat of the market and the charts and you're watching a 5 minute chart to kind of detach and step back a little bit. But I think it's an important thing for traders to do.
Oh yeah,
But I agree with you.
100%.
I also aim for the bigger risk to reward trades. I think that works for my personality when I'm trading. Um, so we're in line on that. Um, Now you mentioned ICT earlier. Based off of some of the things you're saying, it sounds like you potentially trade some of the ITC concepts. Would you consider yourself someone who trades ICT?
You could say that. You could say that. It really started off with me watching his course, like maybe like 4 years ago, and then from there, uh, kind of looking at other guys like RC Visionaries. My buddy Amon, he has his course. It's called Elite Capital. There,
Mm-hmm.
it teaches some smart money concepts, whatever. Taking something from everyone and then just kind of finding a way to make it work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
kind of
I
how
think
I
that's
did
the
it.
key.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Because like everyone has their own perspective. Everyone thinks a little bit differently. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think like I don't think like you, for example. I don't think like one of my friends who might have success in trading. It's really just me looking through my lens, and just doing what works best for me and my psychology. So with that being said, I implement a little bit of ICT, Wyckoff, whatever liquidity concepts. It's all the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, just a different name.
Yeah, I actually said that to somebody earlier that I think all of the different trading strategies and things that are out there are they're everybody's saying essentially the same thing, but they're just putting a different title on it, a different fancy phrase. So, but
Yeah,
most
exactly.
people are doing similar things or thinking the similar things, or just thinking about it with a different set of terminology. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty common.
exactly. And
Yeah.
whether that's for marketing purposes, because everyone wants to say they have the holy grail, but at the end of the day, you know, a trend line could work, support and resistance could work.
Mhm.
Whatever you want to work can work as long as you have a system that involves, good risk to reward ratio, good risk management, good psychology. Literally anything could work in these markets.
Absolutely, I think that's a good way of looking at it. And I wanted to ask you. So you had mentioned before how you think it's everybody thinks a little bit differently. So even though you might have a friend who's successful in trading, he may approach the markets different than you, think about it different than you, and you're not able to emulate that. So what are your thoughts on like trading groups? Whether it's an accountability group with your friends, where maybe you trade together, or a trader on social media who has a group. What is your opinion on? A lot of people say trading is lonely. It's good to have that support system, that community. But then there's other people who say that like that outside influence can negatively affect your decision making. So are you someone who thinks that like when you're trading, you're in your zone by yourself, no noise, or are you trading with more of like a community and a group where you guys are discussing ideas and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer to be in my own zone, in my own line of thinking, just because I personally believe, accountability groups are fine, as long as, like a good mentorship is good for someone who's just starting off, and, they need some guidance. Guidance is always good, and a mentor is always a shortcut. But, I feel like at a certain point it gets excessive. Like, you shouldn't be relying on someone else for your financial future, when it comes to signals or when, you're I get some people like to hop on live calls or whatever. Some people look for instant gratification when it comes to trading, but that's not the way to go about it. If you want this to be, your full time income or to replace any income, you need to take it seriously. You can't just rely on other people when it comes to it. I do believe there are some benefits to having that support group, to having mentor per se, or watching a course, whether it be YouTube or maybe you paid for it just because you like someone that much. To each his own. But I personally believe that it's best to understand your own framework, your own state of mind, and just go from there and find what strategy works best for you, and then implement it to the best of your ability with the system in place.
I like that. I think that's well said. I think a good mentor needs to teach you how to fish, right? That's the old saying. Like they don't want to catch you a fish or give you a fish. Which if you're taking alerts or something, yeah, sure, that may happen. But truly a good trading mentor will teach you how to fish that you're then able to go out and do it on your own without their assistance, right? So I agree. I think the accountability part of it can be good. I think the community part of it can be good sometimes, but I am a believer that hearing other people's bias on the market, subconsciously or not, can definitely affect you negatively, because you may have a plan that says, "Hey, I'm waiting for the market to do this, and once it does this, I'm going to go long." But somebody in your group does something opposite, and you will be surprised. For some reason, you do the opposite of your plan. Like I've done it. I think we've probably all done it who've traded in those groups. So it's something to be aware of for sure, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can't blame the other person for having their
No, yeah.
perspective. It it's
Exactly.
on you at the end of the day.
Yep, 100%. 100%, I agree. So when you started your trading journey, was there anything in particular that you found to be difficult, whether it was finding the strategy that worked best for you, or it was your psychology, or your bad habits, or your discipline? Was there something specifically that you struggled with, oversizing or revenge trading, those sort of things that a lot of people talk about? Anything specific for you?
Yeah, I would say psychology is the main thing that it took a little minute for it to set in. And I think Mark Hutchinson, if you watch his videos on YouTube, he said it
Hmm.
best. A lot of times the reason why we make bad decisions when it comes to trading is because we attach our self-worth and the value that we bring to, whatever monetary status that we may gain from trading, and that leads to a lot of bad decisions. And the bad decisions, they compound over time. So for example, if you put all your self-worth on getting a funded account or being a funded trader because you could call yourself a six-figure trader, what are you going to do? You might try running through an evaluation, and then you end up blowing your whole account, and then you have to buy another one, and you have to buy another one, and then it's just toxic trading flow that comes from putting your whole psychology, putting everything, putting your value into a trading evaluation, which is what, a couple $100. And then that couple $100 over time, it turns into a couple thousand because, again, you have a bad relationship with money and money management. And the only thing you can do from there is just kind of rewire your thinking and understand that you do bring value no matter, you're a person at the end of the day. This money doesn't define you. Your success in trading doesn't define you. The only thing that defines you is whatever labels you put on yourself. So why are you going to constrain yourself to something that, at the end of the day, money's printed through the Federal Reserve? Why are you going to put your value on something that's printed a trillion times over every single day?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's well said. I think that's not something that's maybe talked about a ton in the trading space, but I think that's really really good advice that you just gave right there.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Yeah, and I know for a lot of young men, I'm sorry to cut you off, but for a lot of young
no,
men,
no, you're good.
especially, or young individuals, we want success. We want it rather quick than, delayed gratification, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's important to understand who you are and understand that the value you have is intrinsic. It doesn't come from any material good or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's something that I think all traders, especially new ones coming into it, need to remember. Um, so that's great advice. Are you a big believer in journaling your trades, journaling your emotions during the trading session? Is that something that you've ever done, or something that you think traders should do?
Oh yeah, yeah, because you track what you grow. So I believe that tracking your trades is very important because then you can see your tendencies and you could compile your losses over time and you could see, okay, 80% of my losses come from this setup. Let me avoid this setup, and that's an important thing about it. As far as emotions go, I don't journal how exactly I'm feeling, but I am aware of it. I do keep track of how it made me feel during the time, but I'm not journaling my emotions as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. Um, if you could go back to the beginning of your trading career when you were first getting started, if you could give yourself one piece of advice that you think would be the most valuable for a beginner trader, what do you think you'd tell yourself?
I would tell myself to stick to demo longer, because I wanted to taste blood. I wanted to
Oh,
really
the market will
experience it.
get you to taste some blood for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to taste everything. I wanted the success as quick as possible, and that led to bad decisions being made, leading to thousands being blown in my first year. Of course, we made them back, but a lot of losses they're avoidable at the end of the day, and it's just about being smart and understanding that you don't need everything today. I'm still here. I'm still surviving. I don't need to make $100 million today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. It's all about that journey and stacking consistent wins day after day. Compounding. Struggle with that word there. Compounding those profits and just watching that account grow. Do you have I guess a method or a system in how you take your profits? So, for example, you get funded with a FunderPro account. Say it's 100K, whatever, and you start to make profits. Do you withdraw all of your profits? Do you withdraw half your profits and leave the rest to grow your account size? How do you go about managing withdrawals and that sort of thing?
Good question. So it starts off with me when I'm in a trade, and let's say it's a 3-to-1 trade.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm at 1-to-1, or depending on structure, honestly, I move the stop to break even. Then it's at 2-to-1. I'm in 2x profit. Then I might trail the stop loss a bit, and I'll keep it like that until the take profit hits. Let's say that the trade moved 2/3 of my way, then it gets stopped out in profit. I can't complain about that. A win's a
Mm-hmm.
win. Or if
Sure.
it goes all the way to the trade take profit, then that's the ideal situation. But with prop firms, I do like to be more aggressive with my stop loss, and move it break even, move it into profit, just because that's what works for me. And then I withdraw most of the profit. I would say, depending on how much is in the account, I might withdraw 90% of the profits that I make, and
Mm-hmm.
then I move some of it into my live account, and then that's where I kind of play around a little bit more. And I might have a different strategy as far as that goes. But when it comes to prop firms, I do like to be a little more risk adverse, and just trailing my stop loss aggressively and withdrawing whatever I made off of there. And of course, you guys are great with the withdrawals.
Sure. Yeah.
I've made multiple withdrawals in a day before with you guys, and that's unheard of in the prop firm
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
There are even some other prop firms, I won't say any names, that are doing what they call same day payouts, but it's really not same day payouts because they have a consistency rule with them, and your consistency rule is only in the evaluation.
Yep, yep. Just to prove you can trade. We're a-booking traders, right? So there's a reason we need the consistency role in the challenge. I'm sure early in our trading career, you and I have probably both done it, and or know people that have done it. But there's plenty of people who passed prop firm challenges because they oversized and got lucky on a trade, right?
Oh yeah,
And that happens pretty often. And so the fact that we're a-booking traders, we can't let traders get funded that way, or it just wouldn't be a successful model for us, right? So you have to prove you can trade, and not only that, prove you can trade with some consistency, with proper risk management. But that all goes out the window once you're funded. It's basically treated as a live real account. So withdraw anything over, I think we changed it to $50 now. It used to be 100, but any profit over $50, you can withdraw as many times as you want in a day. And but yeah, that's because we a book our traders and are able to do things that way, which is obviously awesome and in the favor of the trader. So
exactly. It's definitely unheard of in the industry, and a lot of people are using what they call simulated funds.
mm-hmm.
At that point, just say that you're giving us the the money from the valuation. But
Yep.
you guys don't do that. I appreciate that and I respect that a lot. And Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Being able to withdraw same day from a prop firm is different. Like, even my broker might not get me the same day profit,
Yeah, well, yeah. Somebody else said that you guys are quicker than a broker, and I was like, yeah, it's true. It really is. It's
Yeah,
funny.
exactly. It's unheard of. And, that's one thing I really like about you guys. And then the fact that the valuation does have a 45% consistency rule, it does help, because some traders, they're so psyched into, oh, I need to pass this evaluation
Hmm.
today and make money as soon as I get this live funded account. But instead, you're breaking it into 3 days. And then, let's say it's a one phase evaluation. Because I personally like the fast track accounts is
Okay, I was gonna ask you that.
14%. I make 5% one day, 5% the next day, and then 4% the day after that. And,
Yep.
that's what I've done in my past two evaluations with you guys. And
Hmm.
it takes a lot of stress off of having feeling like you have to pass the evaluation as soon as possible.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of places and a lot of traders have that mindset. I mean, our even our stats show people will definitely try to get through the challenges. When we used to have the competitions, people are really just oversizing, over leveraging, and they're more gambling than they are trading. So, um, but you had mentioned something earlier that you'll withdraw about 90% of your profits depending on where your account is at, as opposed to trying to grow your account, which I agree with that method. I actually posted this on the FunderPro X one time, and I asked people, what did they think? Kind of took a poll, and overwhelmingly, people said to grow your account that you need more capital to trade with in order to make more money. Um, but I think that's a recipe for disaster. It's like the more you grow that account and it gets bigger, you start to oversize, get a little overconfident, think you have a little bit more cushion, and I think it can lead to then an oversized trade, a bigger loss than you want, which then can lead to tilt, which then can lead to you blowing all that profit. So I'm a big believer in traders withdrawing and paying themselves at least
Oh yeah.
60% of the profits. I don't mind leaving some in there to grow and give yourself a cushion. I don't think that's a bad idea, but you're here to make money and pay yourself too. And especially at FunderPro, we encourage those traders to take those withdrawals, pay themselves, pay yourself for your success. And so I was glad to hear that was your take on that response. But another question on top of that statement would be, you mentioned about taking 90% and putting it into your personal account. And you mentioned basically that you trade those accounts slightly different. And you use the prop firm, you're a little bit tighter with your risk. Like you'll trail your stop a little tighter, quicker, and be happy if it hits your stop, just happy that you got those little bit of profits or whatever it may be. So is there a reason that you treat the accounts a little bit differently just to maintain within the roles? Is it a psychology thing? Is there a thought process behind treating those two accounts a little bit differently?
So there is a little bit of a thought process. One being, I still have my, of course, I still have my limits when it comes to loss and loss percentage. But
Mm-hmm.
over there, I might risk a 2% if I'm feeling real frisky. But other than that, and then I might not trail the stop loss as aggressively because I might be aiming for a higher target. I know for my personal account, I hold trades a bit longer because with you guys, I have fast track account, and I don't like to hold over weekends, but on that one, I do like to hold some trades a bit longer, and then just
On your
scale.
personal account, you'll hold them longer, you mean? Like you'll swing
Yeah,
trade a
yeah,
little bit more
exactly,
on your personal account?
exactly. As far as your guys' is fast track, I like to pay myself. I like to pay myself and
Mm-hmm.
just keep it going like that, and then I don't even like to hold into the next day because of course, it's equity based when it comes to drawdown. And,
Mm-hmm.
one time I had to learn that the hard way, but, and it's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't understand the rule at that time. But,
Yeah.
I definitely do prefer to be in and out within the same day. I might take two trades on your guys' funded account, and then, one of them being around 10 a.m., another one being later in the afternoon, and just, keeping it like that and just being in and out. Sometimes I might make multiple withdrawals in the same day and keep some of it, I have to pay myself, put some of it in trading account, let it compound even more.
Mm-hmm.
I know Demetrius, I know you guys interviewed him. I know yeah, that man's crazy. He made maybe like 10
Dimitri, yeah.
withdrawals in the same day.
Yeah, his interview made me laugh. He's a funny guy. he's kind of like a no BS straight shooter. I thought it was entertaining listening to him.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that. I feel like we don't have enough of that. Some people like to sugarcoat things, and but we need people like that in the community. That's why I like your guys' community, because there are people like him. It's always someone helping in there if the live support isn't able to help. Because there's always someone asking about the consistency rule. There's always someone asking about drawdown or fast track or swing or regular. There's always someone asking a question. New people. So it's important to have a community that helps each other, uplifts each other, and of course, you can see the payouts, you can see everything. Like it's very transparent.
Yeah. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube or wherever you might see this clip, and what Nafeed is referring to by the FunderPro community is our Discord server or our Discord community. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Yes,
I know Dimitri's in there, and there's a lot of other helpful traders in there that are helping the new people out with questions and all that good stuff. So I agree. It's a great community that has been growing. So if you guys don't, or if you're not a part of the FunderPro Discord, make sure you guys check that out. So I'll give you one or two more questions here, and then I'll let you go. You had mentioned some resources, YouTube. There's obviously a lot of free content, a lot of free education on YouTube. Is there anybody in particular that you suggest to help newbies kind of weed out what may be, because obviously there's a lot of noise out there too, right? Is there anybody specific that you think somebody should check on YouTube, or is there any books that you think somebody should read, whether it's psychology or trading or technicals? Any resources for any traders that you like that you could share with us?
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
don't know
me?
what happened.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, you were talking, and it just mid talking, it just it just went out. But
Yeah,
but
sorry
yeah, so I
about that.
apologize for the interruption there. I don't know if you remember where you were at in your thought or whatever, but if you just want to pick up there and finish whatever you were saying, that would be awesome, and then we can kind of wrap it up from there.
Oh yeah, of course. So I was saying that as far as the psychology aspect goes, someone I would recommend is Mark Hutchinson, Falcon FX. He has a lot of value that he provides in his videos. And again, it comes down to understanding your relationship with money and having that good psychology and good framework, and understanding that the value you hold is within, and it's nothing about what you have or any materialistic thing. And that's important to understand in the trading realm, because everyone wants to have it in a day. Everyone wants to pass that evaluation in one day and get that six-figure payout. But in reality, you're better off just making 1 to 2% every single whenever you win a trade. Let's say you win 3 days out of the week and you make 3% on a 200K account. That's 6 bands. That's 6K times 4, 24K in 1 month. That's better than a lot of people's salaries. So you have to keep that perspective in mind, that there are people out here, working for $20 an hour, whatever it may be, and you have the opportunity to make a good amount of money just from these charts. And you don't have to leave the comfort of your home, or you could supplement your main stream of income with trading. And that's just from you being disciplined and understanding what you need to know about trading and your psychology, and having a good system in place, good risk to reward ratio. And then some people I would recommend for technicals, I would say of course, everyone says ICT. I like RC Visionaries. They're definitely good. They have a good course on YouTube. Elite Capital, they're good. I learned a lot from them just because I was in their community. That's when it started from my friend. But yeah, so there are definitely a lot of good resources, and it's always, whoever you go to or wherever you go, it's just about implementing a system. Like I said before, trend lines can make you profitable, support and resistance can, an Ichimoku cloud, whatever it is that you might want to use, as long as you have good risk to reward ratio and good psychology, you'll be solid wherever you go.
Awesome, man. I agree. I think it's really the foundation to successful trading. And back to what you said before, you made a good point. Everybody sees the screenshots of the traders on social media and how they're 5 figures, whatever it may be. And everybody who gets into trading wants that, and they want to get there quickly. And especially young people, don't get caught up in the screenshots and the posts that you see
Yeah,
online from other
exactly.
traders. Focus on yourself and what the value of that money would bring to your real life, because we see people do that a lot where they get funded, they make some nice profit. Maybe it takes them a couple of days to make what it would take them a couple of weeks to make, and then they start to take
Exactly.
unnecessary and they start to take unnecessary risks. So make sure you're putting real life value on the profits that you're earning. I think that's important for everyone to keep in mind. And so Naveed, before we wrap it up here, do you do anything on social media that you would want to shout out, where anybody can find you on social accounts, or are you someone who keeps quiet and stays off of social media?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any social media accounts, but if you have any questions in the Discord, feel free to ask. And before we go, I'll show some payouts on here just so
Yeah, that'd be
because I know
awesome.
that's the main thing everyone comes on these for. I know when
Yeah.
before I even came to you guys, I wanted to see the payouts on
Mm-hmm.
on the website. I wanted to see the payouts in the interviews. So I'll show you. Hold up. Okay, so paid payouts. I don't know if it's focused or not.
It's a little out of focus right now, it looks like.
Let me see if I get closer. Paid payouts.
PayPal, yeah, I can see that.
Okay, and then payment method, crypto. I don't know if you could see any of this actually.
Yeah, if you get if you get real close in on there, yeah, you can see once you get really close, yeah.
Hold on.
But yeah, man, that's a nice looking list of payouts there.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that some of them were in the same day. I just had to show that crypto 80%, whatever, trade locker. If you want more proof, I could show I'm not gonna do it on here, but I could show the Coinbase and all of that, so if if anyone wants to, I could show on in the Discord there's a channel for payout proofs or whatever, and
Yeah.
just vouching for you guys, because of course, like, being able to withdraw daily, having that type of opportunity, that's unheard of in the prop firm industry, and it's life
Mm-hmm.
changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
yeah, we've heard people complain about the consistency role, or complain about the difficulty of our challenges, but we don't give any complaints about our payouts. And I think every real trader agrees that's the most important part of this whole prop firm thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? The one thing I said in the Discord when I was talking about a payout, I saw someone else get their payout in 50 seconds, and I was like, man, why is mine taking 2 hours? That's the
Ah.
biggest. That's the only complaint I had. The longest I had to wait was maybe 48 hours. And that's
Yeah,
still.
that's a long time for us, I think, normally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. But go somewhere else in 48 hours, and you'll feel like the luckiest man alive.
That's because they're all on different time frames. So when you're requesting your payouts at the end of the New York session, Gary's over there taking his nightful sleep. So that's why you're waiting the extra 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I've had payouts in 30 seconds before, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But just to keep that perspective in mind for anyone who's waiting on a payout from FunderPro, you'll get it,
Oh, for sure.
guaranteed.
You won't be waiting long. We'll promise you that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, definitely best prop firm out there right now. And I've been with a lot of different prop firms, and I could vouch for a few of them, but of course, FunderPro is definitely where it's at. Definitely the best prop firm in the industry right now, and I'm surprised that not a lot of people, not as many people heard of it as some of these other names. But
Yeah, yeah.
for everyone who knows, I know there are a couple of traders in the community that they know about Funder, or once they found out about FunderPro, they don't go anywhere else, and there's a reason for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually just announced, I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you ever traded futures, but they announced on the last AMA that they expect our futures offering to launch before Christmas. So before
Oh
the end of
wow.
this year. So I'm hoping once the futures portion of FunderPro gets launched, that'll help kind of make us more of that household name, one of the top dogs out there. So that's what we're gunning for, and I think we can be there once we get the futures added. So I know I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys don't, anybody watching this, go follow. We started getting the social accounts together, so it's FunderPro Futures, at FunderPro Futures, And like Naveed said, everybody, you can find him in the FunderPro Discord. So if you have any questions for Naveed, you want to get to know him, pick his brain anymore, you can join the FunderPro Discord. I think the link is in most of our social bios. Once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time. I really enjoyed and appreciated a lot of the answers that you gave. So I think this will be a great interview for every trader to watch, especially new traders. And is there anything that you'd like to wrap us up with? Any final thoughts?
No, I'd like to thank you as well and thank the whole FunderPro staff and, of course, just, keep on doing what you guys are doing. It's a great opportunity for new traders who've been around for a while. It's definitely a great opportunity, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. And the addition of futures is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even listen to the AMA, so I didn't know that until now. That'll be definitely interesting to see. But again, I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. I appreciate, everything that you guys are doing and just being able to be on this journey. I'll definitely, look forward to a couple more payouts from you guys. So thank you
Hey, we
so
look
much.
forward to processing them. That's for sure.
Of course, I appreciate that.
And I'll tell Gary we want them quick. We want seconds. We want seconds. That's what we want to see.
Exactly. Seconds on the time frame, seconds on the payouts. Come on now.
That's right. My man's doing this the 15-second time frame. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, man. Thanks again. Best time in the history of the universe to make money trading with prop firms, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys come do that with us over at FunderPro. It was great meeting you, Naveed, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up again sometime soon.
Of course, I appreciate you. I look forward to it, and I look forward to the future of the prop firm with you guys. And one more thing, these other prop firms are going under, but you won't be seeing that with FunderPro. Hey, but come on now.
That's right. That's right. Profits coming from the market. That's right. All right, man.
For
Thank you.
sure.
Have a good evening.
Of course, you do the same, man.
Thank you.